Welcome to the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. For group exercise junkies and enthusiastic classgoers, we'll explore and uncover authentic, thought-provoking, and heartwarming industry education and inspiration from entertaining, badass fitness pros. And now your host, creator of Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat, and Warrior Kids Group fitness brands, Ellen DeWord. Here we grow.
Hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. I already know that you want this topic from me. I know because you've been asking in my inboxes, in my DM. You want to know, how do you get to mix your passion with paradise? Well, I am going to tell you today all the details. Today, I'm going to talk to you about FitBodies Incorporated and specifically my experience because I just got home from my first teaching travel trip, my first teaching vacation. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw it all. I lived it out loud. As per usual, like I do with my fitness life, I storied about it ridiculously every day, and I curated some really beautiful content almost from every single day I was there, almost from each class experience each day into some like beautiful content. I have some reels and some carousels and some still photos. Some of it I collaborated with FitBodies on, so you'll be able to find it on their stuff too. So first, I guess let me file a disclaimer first. I am not speaking on behalf of FitBodies. I am just telling you how amazing my experience was. So I'm going to do my best to accurately represent my entire process on how I did it so that you can replicate these steps and take advantage of this incredible opportunity yourselves. I have only done the Cancun trip that I just got back from. So I'm not like a FitBodies veteran that has done 20 of these trips. So I don't know, like my single experience might be slightly different than I'm sure it is. I'm sure all their locations are slightly, of course, different. And I'm sure a lot of my experience was standard and like what you can expect with each. And certainly the enrollment process and things to do before your trip and what to expect when you get there, those things are going to apply whatever location you go to, even though I will share with you about my experience in Cancun. I'm going to give you like a really tender-hearted confession today at the end of this episode, and I'm going to try to go through this information quickly. So sit up and take notes if you're interested in mixing your passion with paradise. I borrowed that language from their website. Speaking of their website is fitnessprotravel.com. I'm going to say that again. Their website is fitnessprotravel.com. The reason I'm reiterating that is because it's different than their handle on Instagram and Facebook. So fitnessprotravel.com is the website. You need to know that. That's like where your journey will start, is by going to their website. But now that I'm talking about them and their branding and stuff on Instagram, it is FitBodies Inc. On Facebook, it's FitBodies Inc. And there is a community page, and I don't remember, or I don't know if it's private or not. Like, I don't know if you have to ask to get in. I don't know. Presumably, let's just assume it's a private group and you have to ask to get in. But if you're searching for that group, it is FitBodies Inc. Teach on the Beach instructor page. So you have the website. I'll put this in the show notes too. You have the Instagram and Facebook handles, and you have now the name of that group. And if you go to the group, it's pretty resourceful and people share in there. It's a very active group. It's a lovely community of instructors that are doing these vacations, asking questions about these vacations and everything. But I want this podcast to be like your one-stop shop for getting your questions answered. Honestly, I'm going to give you what I would have wanted. I'm going to give you I like to learn through my ears more than like reading. And so I just wish I could have listened to a podcast that told me all the things that I needed to know. So I'm going to do that for you. All right. So first, you need to be a certified fitness pro with your credentials in order, because you have to be vetted. They have to make sure you're safe and you're current and that you're not going to be a liability, that you know what you're doing. So you have to be credentialed and you have to be in fitness, like group fitness. general group fitness, and yoga, or I should say, and or yoga. And then there are some specific sport professionals. Like I think there's tennis lessons. I think they even want DJs. Don't quote me. I don't know. Pickleball. I think there's some specialty, more niche, general sport stuff. Who knows? Maybe golfing. I don't know. I should shut up about that because I don't know what I'm talking about. I should stick to what I know, which is group fitness and yoga. Okay. So let's see. Where to begin? The process. You go to that website. What did I say it was? fitnessprotravel.com, and you set up a profile. It's like a picture. Remember in previous episodes, I've talked about the importance of having professional photography and a professional headshot. You know how I feel about that. So put your professional profile in there. Then you upload your certificates, all that, all your certs, all your current certs. Don't put anything expired. That doesn't count. And what else? Then you like get approved. You know, they like vet you. You get approved and then you're official. Then there are like 3 tiers of memberships. I don't right now remember what they all are. I think there's one that's like $20 a year and one that's like $60 a year or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me. You can see it on their website. But there's like 3 tiers of membership. So you have to be a member that pays an annual fee. Now, I think that the membership, like the differences, I think that the slightly more expensive memberships just give you more access. Like you can see more resorts, or maybe you can see more resorts way sooner, like a year out or something to that effect. You'll see, like you might try to book an event, a trip, and it might ask you to upgrade your membership to book that specific one. So you'll see, it's pretty intuitive, pretty easy to navigate their website, but you do need to set up a profile and an account. It's also like social, like you can connect with other fit pros. Go ahead and connect with me. You can send me a friend request on there. You can connect with people. You can, I should do that. I should upload pictures from my trip there. Note to self. If I weren't podcasting right now, I would like be writing a note on my hand or texting myself. But I can't do that right now. I'm talking to you. So once you're like approved and you created your profile, then you can search for the trip of your wildest dreams. And this all is going to sound like it's too good to be true. It's not. I promise. I just did it. It's just true. It's just too good and true. All right. So then you search. You can search by date. You can search by country. They're everywhere. You can go to Dubai, you can go to Malaysia, you can go to Thailand, you can go to Costa Rica, you can go to Mexico, you can go to Japan. I mean, you can go to anywhere. They're all over the world in these exotic, breathtaking 5-star resorts. Is it totally free? Not totally, but close. So I'll tell you what the fees are. So you search for a trip. And you also, when you're searching for a trip, you can search by date, you can search by format, you can search by like an adult location. I went to an adult location where they might have more adult entertainment. I'll talk about that in a minute. Or a family-friendly, kid-friendly resort. You choose. And then you want to see what they're looking for. Like, do they want HIIT classes, boot camps, kickboxing? It seems like most of the resorts like really want yoga. They really want water-based formats. Maybe they want dance like Zumba. And so Pilates. So basically you need to make sure, like, of course, that you have what they're looking for before you apply to go to their trip. So once you apply, then you basically pay. So there's like an admin fee. I think it's called a hotel administration fee or something like that. The verbiage is something like that. And then there's like a hotel gift. And those start as low as $550 for an all-inclusive resort trip for a week. Mine, the one I just went to, was $850 US. I think my whole trip was roughly $1,500, including my travel. So you pay, of course, to get yourself there. You pay your flight. You pay that admin fee that is $550 or slightly more. Mine was $850. So you pay for your flight, you pay the admin and gift fee. you bring tip money. I think we went through $100 or $200 in tipping people everywhere that help you with your food and your luggage and everything you're doing, bringing you drinks by the pool. Tip generously, because that is how these people like make their money, and it's an expectation. It's an expectation. So you have some tip money involved, and then you might have a shuttle. Like I had to shuttle from the Cancun airport to the Hyatt Resort Breathless. It was Breathless Riviera Maya that we went to. And I think it was like $40 per shuffle per person, maybe along those lines. So again, I think my whole entire trip was in the $1,500 ballpark, maybe $1,800 stretching it. And then you get to bring a travel companion. This could be your spouse, it could be your bestie, it could be your daughter, it could be your mom. You get to bring a companion. I brought my bestie and she had a job to do. I'll explain that in a moment. So then let's see. Wait on buying your flight. So you apply to go to this place, wherever you're going. And then once you wait until you've been approved, and they will literally send you an email that says like, don't book your flight yet, in like red letters. I might be making that up, but I feel like it was like very clear, bold, like don't book your flight yet. And then they're like, okay, now you can book your flight. So just wait, calm down, book your flight when you're supposed to book your flight. And then you're set. So then you want to make sure you have your passport and you've chosen a travel companion and you're organized, because they will give you things like travel vouchers. So you just need to read everything, or just listen to this podcast. They will give you a travel voucher that helps you get into the resort, and you have vouchers for your shuttle rides to get you transported from the airport to your resort. So just be organized with all that stuff. I'm a big fan of like opening a notepad app in your phone. So I just made a Cancun notepad app, and every time I would get an email from them, if there was any important piece of information in it, or something like save this piece of paper, I would put it every single thing in the one notepad app. That's just kind of how I like to organize my life. Okay, so then let's see what I want to say next. I don't even know. I guess I want to talk about packing, because I face planted here and I did not pack appropriately because I didn't understand the assignment. I didn't understand that there was so much fun. Remember I told you I went to an adult resort? I didn't know that meant there were fun adult things to do at night on the resort, like dancing and glow parties and belly dancing and all kinds of entertainment, all kinds of fun evening, like nightlife stuff. So sad me had zero heels, nothing sexy at all for the nightlife, nothing. And if you know me at all, I love getting dressed up. Like, give me a reason to put on a pair of heels, please. I didn't know. What's wrong with me? Why didn't someone tell me? Why didn't someone do a podcast and tell me that I need to bring some really cute dresses? Nope. No. Nope. I was underdressed for the nightlife. Sadly. Sorry, this is tangent, but I like to be the overdressed person at events. I like to be the one that's overdressed. So anyway, all that to say, make sure you have your passport. And when you're packing, you need to bring a awesome workout outfit for every day. And of course, I brought an abundance of those. And I brought a bathing suit for every single day, and sunscreen and a sun hat and sunglasses and all. I was like prepared for the daytime. And I brought a dress, like summer dresses for every day, but they were just like, flouncy, like walking from the pool to go get like a burrito. Like they were just like sundresses. They weren't going out for the nightlife dresses. So anywho, don't make that mistake. So that's what you need. You need a bathing suit every day. You need a workout outfit every day, a couple of cute cover-ups. Make sure you're taking care of your skin and all that. You know how I feel about all that. So you got all your stuff, and you have evening wear Okay. Then you want to bring like a Bose you want to bring a portable speaker. You could bring a portable mic. You could bring a microphone. I did not bring one. I didn't need one and I didn't want to travel with it, but you certainly could. Bring a mic, and I brought my mat because I'm obsessed with my mat. I feel the safest on my mat. I think it's the best mat in the world. It's sticky for me in a good way. Like I just feel very safe and solid, and I do extreme things on my yoga mat, and I don't want to hurt myself. So I brought my mat, even though it's not easy to travel with. I brought it. And what else do I want to say about packing? All right, I think I want to talk about my travel companion. So I brought a bestie. And if you know me, you probably know her. I brought Diva Richards. She's the co-creator of Warrior Combat. And gosh, like I just we've spent the whole year traveling the country doing conferences together. We worked so hard this year. I'm recording this at the very tail end. In fact, Christmas was yesterday. I'm recording this at the end of 2023. I'm going to launch this podcast in mid-January. So Diva and I worked so hard in 2023. And we literally said to each other, like halfway through the year, I don't even think it was halfway through the year. We were already tired. I think it was like quarter one of 2023. And we were like, we got to put our toes in the sand at the end of this year. And so I brought her and we put our toes in the sand together. And it was so like literally we were sitting, it was like after my last class, and like she was sitting there under this gazebo with me. And I just was like, give me your feet. And I like unlaced her shoes and pulled her shoes off. She's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you taking my shoes off? And I like pulled her off the little thing. We were sitting on the edge of the balcony, and I pulled her down and into the sand. And I was like, but I kicked some sand on her feet. I was like, look, we manifested this. We got toes in the sand at the end of the year. It was really beautiful. Anyway, that's a side note, but I brought her. So again, you can bring whoever you want, spouse, bestie, whoever, and they're your companion. They get this all-inclusive paradise vacation, for free. And I had something else to say about that. Oh, I also had plans for her. Like I had work for her to do. I wanted her to be my Instagram husband. Now I am just abbreviating that IGH, hashtag IGH. So get yourself an Instagram husband if you go on one of these trips, because if the class is comfortable, and I want to say that again in bold letters and underline, because we don't want to offend or make anyone feel uncomfortable by pulling out a camera during a class, ever. But if your class is cool with it and you've asked their permission and you feel it, you feel that they're like cool with it, you feel that they're not ambivalent about it. If they're cool with it, it's great to have great assets, video assets and stuff. And again, like I said, if you look at my Instagram, you can even look at FitBodies because they collabed with me on some of my great content. That's from her taking time to help me capture so I could curate some great stuff, which helps me as a personal brand, which helps my brands. So I highly recommend bringing an IGH, an Instagram husband, on your Fit Pro travel account. But maybe you just need to bring your actual husband. I mean, I don't know. You bring whoever you want to bring, but you get to bring someone, which is so cool. All right. So we talked about what it cost me. We talked about what to pack. We talked about how underdressed I was, which was like, wah, wah, wah. Oh, so once you get there, you you travel Sunday to Sunday. Did I already say that? You travel Sunday to Sunday, and they need to know your flight numbers. So you travel Sunday to Sunday, and you start teaching, you get there, whatever, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, you start teaching in the morning. You're there to work and then have fun all day. So when you get there and you check into the hotel, you find the entertainment director first. And ours was wonderful. His name was Omar. He was fantastic. And he was like my manager for the weekend. He was like my boss. He was in charge of me. So he showed me where to go. and I always get lost. So another job for my IGH was to make sure I didn't get lost and I could find the gazebo every day. I'm not kidding. So he showed us where I was going to be every day. And I think some of these resorts have actual like fitness studios, and some of them have you under a gazebo-y thing, and some of them have you like on the beach. And this one was a gazebo, but the people could work out on the beach if they want. Like they could work on the sand, or they could be up under the little gazebo with me, or both. There was choices. There was also electricity out there for me. I don't know that that would be that way at every resort, but I could plug in, like again, if I had a microphone, which I didn't bring, but we could plug our little Bose speaker into that. If it wasn't charged and having trouble charging, which it was, it was having trouble charging. So thank God there was an outlet there. Entertainment director, you need to find that guy or girl and have them show you the ropes. We also had to pick up yoga mats at a different location. We had to pick up yoga mats and bring them to the space every day. Oh, this is important. I thought I was going to be teaching rhythm and combat. So I thought I was going to be doing yoga and kickbox. But as a matter of fact, I learned upon arrival that it was more that they wanted yoga. So we did rhythm and rhythm. So I did rhythm, and I didn't know if it was 30-minute classes or 45. I didn't really know. I didn't really have all the information. And I think this is an important point. You don't need to know everything. I don't think you're going to know everything until you arrive. You just kind of have to be nimble, which is one of the biggest things I want to say to you. In so many ways, you need to be nimble and adaptable, both for the resort, and then I'll get to this, for your students. So, Omar told me that my classes were going to start at 8:30 and 9:30. I didn't know that. I thought they were going to start at 10. So 8:30 and 9:30, that they were both going to be warrior rhythm, and that they were both going to be 45 minutes long. So that was great. So I didn't know that. Then I knew the lay of the land. So all the kickboxing stuff I brought, the warrior combat stuff that I brought, I didn't need, but that's okay. That was fine. That was fine. So be nimble. Now, I think we can move on. Okay, so now let's get into the heart of what it was like teaching there. And I'm gonna go through this pretty quickly, and then I'm gonna give you my like confession. Okay, all right, let's do it. You need to form a really unique custom relationship with each class. And I'll get into that. That's going to sort of actually kind of bleed into my confession, I think. You need to ask them. So every single class that I taught there, I met each person. I asked them their name. I asked them where they were from. And then I said, so what are you expecting? What are you looking for today? Are you looking for something like more slow and meditative, chill vibes? Or are you looking to be pushed? Do you want to get sweaty? Do you want to work hard? What are you feeling? What are you looking for? And I got a variety of responses. You know, each class was a little bit different. I had 2 people come to a class that had never done any kind of yoga a day in their lives ever. And I had some total yogis, and I had some people that wanted something more meditative. And that's where this is going to get interesting for me, because of the nature of my format, my yoga inspired format. I'll circle back to that in a minute. So some other things I want to tell you is I want you to make sure you're staying extra hydrated, extra hydrated. I think I already said, because I'm like a vampire about the sun. Bring lots of sunscreen. You might be working out in the sun. And then you need to, I already said, be sensitive to people about the camera issue. You need to have the skill. In fact, if you don't have this skill yet, don't apply for a trip yet. Work on the skill before you apply. You need to have the skill that you can mirror your students, meaning your left hand is your right hand. And I'm probably preaching to the choir, but I'm not, because there's still a lot of instructors that don't have that skill, that don't face their students. And it's important to know how to do that, because like, if you can't face your students, because in a studio where there's mirrors, it's easy for you to put your back to the class and still be able to see them through the mirrors. My opinion is that is like not the highest level of teaching, because I don't think it's as intimate to look at someone through a mirror as it is to turn around and face them and look at them. If you don't believe me, try it. Look at someone in the mirror and smile at them, and then turn around and look at them, like facing them and smile. And there's a different level of intimacy. So anyway, that's how I feel about that. But in this environment, if you can't mirror, like everyone's facing the ocean, you can't see them, you don't know if they're struggling, you don't know if their form needs help, you're blind. So it's important to build a mirror. And then I many times turned sideways, angled myself so that they could see my profile, because there are no mirrors, and I want them to be able to see my form and stuff from different, and some of the poses that I was doing from different angles. So you really need to be nimble in that respect also. Also, I want to say, behave. Behave on your trip. Behave, because they're gonna know it's you when you're by the pool. So don't be getting in like an argument with your husband or something on the phone, or like cursing, or like behave, okay? Behave, because they're gonna know it's you. I can't tell you how many people came up to me that were like, oh, you're the yoga instructor. I was gonna try to go to class today, but I was too hungover or whatever. So people recognized me everywhere that I had never met, because FitBodies will promote you internally. So with your photo, and plus people like see you teaching while you're teaching, and they know who you are. So behave. You are representing your own personal brand, and you are representing whatever brand you might be teaching for. And really importantly, you're representing FitBodies as well. So behave on your trip. They know who you are. People are watching. I say that to instructors, like also in the real world, in the clubs, like behave in the parking lot. Like behave. Behave in the stairwell. They know it's you. Okay. So let's see. I think I am going to dive into my confession. Let's see. Yes, it is time to do that. All right, ready? My confession is that this experience made me a better instructor. I didn't expect it to. And at the risk of sounding really arrogant right now, that had never even crossed my mind. I teach instructors how to level up for a living. I recruit and hire and train master trainers. I train people to perform for our fitness videos. I work on instructor. I run a camp, a level up camp called Camp Rockstar. I help upskill instructors for a living. I manage group exercise instructors. And this experience was just in such a beautiful and in such a good way, very humbling for me, because I saw some room for growth. I feel like I did grow. I feel like I was challenged and I rose to the challenge. And it has to do with this being nimble theme. So I normally teach to 3 different groups of people. And this is important for you to know, because you probably teach to at least one of the following 3 kind of buckets I'm going to mention. Bucket number 1, I teach them my own classes. These are comprised of people that mostly know, love, and trust me. They've been working out with me for millions of years, and they know me, they love me. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing for me to prove. They know me. And yes, I have newcomers. In fact, the last solo episode I did, if you recall, was about how to make newbies comfy and cozy and coming back. It was a great episode. If you missed it, go back. So of course I have newbies that come into class. And of course I'm always being sensitive to like all the things I said in that podcast episode, like, so I'm always on my toes in that respect, but still I'm in my space, I'm in my house, like my club, I'm in my house, and I'm in an environment where everyone knows what they're getting, and I know exactly what I'm giving, and I know how to dish it up to the newbie and make them feel welcome and comfortable. So that's like a very comfortable place for me to just rock and roll. The next bucket or environment where I perform and teach is at conferences. That's a different animal because these are you. These are fitness professionals. So they're usually like follow choreography really well. They're, generally speaking, very fit. So this is a group that I can really perform to at a super high level and like dish it out, like dish it all out. Like, here's all your options. Here's all the bells and whistles. And I like to say, actually, I like to say this ad nauseum, like it's the cupcake, the frosting, and the sprinkles. If I'm at a conference, they get it all. Like, these are the fit pros. Like, I'm here to impress. And I know that role, and I know what I'm doing, and I know my intensity, and I know I'm gonna push it. Like, I know this is gonna be a group that isn't necessarily gonna need to see a ton of modifications from me. And I just know that group, and I'm comfortable in that element. And then there's another bucket in my life. I lead instructor certifications for Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat. And this is a great group too. This is also you. This is also similar to you. These are people that are fitness professionals usually, or maybe they are, maybe they're becoming fitness professionals. Maybe they're starting with us. They've never taught yet or been certified yet. But generally speaking, I would say 90% of people that come into our certifications are already certified and already teaching. I would say 10% are brand new. In any event, they already love the format enough to want to get certified in it, enough to want to invest into the training and invest 8 hours into the day. They already love it. Like, I'm not selling it. Like, I already know they love what I have to offer. And they love it so much, they want to represent it. So that's a fun bucket to teach too. I guess a fourth bucket would be I teach to a camera. I teach I lead the instructor training videos where I have a pretend audience of fitness instructors again. So I'm really comfortable and have really over these last few years just really, really fine-tuned my skill set for those buckets. So this was different. And this will be different for you too, I imagine. Different than your normal classes where people know, love, and trust you. These were people that were expecting yoga, and I teach a yoga-inspired format. It is fitness-based. It is, I like to actually refer to it as rebel yoga. It tends to appeal to people that don't sit still very well, where yogis do sit still real well. So I knew that, of course, going in, and I'm going to use that word nimble again. Like, I knew I needed to be nimble. So I had to be, yeah, nimble from the get-go. Remember, I thought I was going to be teaching some kickboxing, some warrior combat there. So I thought I was going to be teaching at 10 a.m., but I was teaching at 8:30 a.m. Like, you just have to be ready. You just have to be ready to roll with it. So this group, I started each and every single class by asking them their name, asking them where they were from, asking what they were looking for. And then I needed to manage their expectations. And then I needed to adapt my programming to meet their needs. And I loved being challenged like this. And I really felt like I rose to the challenge. So I had to tell them, I had to find out what they wanted. And then if I surmised that a group, maybe there's 7 of them, generally wanted something a little more chill, I knew that I needed to do some adapting to my programming, which we're allowed to do there are some specifications within the trademark rules of like Warrior Rhythm about how you can do that. So, I did, but I also wanted to let them know that they were going to experience a format that was yoga inspired, but that moves to music. And I just asked them to have an open mind. It was amazing. It was all so well received by every single class. But like, I'm just going to give you some examples and then I'm going to wrap this thing up for the day. Some examples are like our format builds choreography, literally like building a dance. So you'll learn some moves and then you'll learn some more moves and then you'll put them together in a flow. It's like a dance, truly, 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 truly. And you learn the moves slowly and then you go a little faster and then you go real fast. Like we put our foot on the gas and we flow, like we go, we grind. And so we go from like 32 counts per move to 16 per move to 8. And so many of these classes, I just never took it to the 8 count. I just read the room, quote unquote, and felt like, and some of the classes I was like, you got it? You want to go faster? Do you want to go faster? And they'd be like, uh-huh. And I'd be like, all right, here we go. And I would take it to the 8. And then sometimes I wouldn't even ask because I could just tell if they were struggling at a 16, I'm not going to make it any faster. And there was one group in particular that was struggling. And so I made an executive decision, of course, in my own brain. They didn't need to know this, but I decided, like, even though our format is so married to the music, I just decided to get like, let it go, like, we're just going to flow off the beat. It's not like what's more important here, that I'm on the beat or that they feel successful, like no brainer. So there was one particular group where the flow song just became backdrop. It just became music in the background. And I was matching their energy and their pace instead of asking them to struggle. So that for what? For what? So that I could hit the top of the phrase for the pelicans watching. So, and then there's like, we have this like down dog crisscross walk thing that I made up. And I've like iterated on it where it's like down dog crisscross, sweep the knee. Like it's really cool. And like, I think I did that only with one group. And the other groups, I would just hold down dog or hold down dog and pedal the heels. Or like one combination, we do like wide runner's lunge to single leg dog to wide runner's lunge to plank. And we're changing on every 8 count. And I, again, like read the room. I was like, no, nope. They just barely got into wide runner's lunge. I am not going to cue them up into single leg dog yet. So we're just going to hold wide runner's lunge for the whole 32 counts and then switch. So it was just like, it was hard and wonderful and I loved it and it elevated my confidence. And I don't know if you'll have that experience. I guess it kind of depends on what you teach and how you normally, what your modality is. And if it's yoga and you don't move to music, it's easier to do. So it was like uniquely challenging for me given the nature of my format, but it was beautiful and they absolutely loved Warrior Rhythm. So that was delightful. So let's recap. It is not too good to be true. It was absolutely paradise. I can't give it enough 5 stars. I promise. There was literally nothing other than I burned my hand. Yeah, like there was nothing. I was like, should I go into that story? I'm not going to go into that story. I burned my hand, okay? I travel with my own coffee maker. I burned my hand with boiling water. But anyway, there was nothing that was not amazing about this trip. The facilities are beautiful. The staff was amazing. FitBodies was incredible. I literally am going to try to book 4 trips a year. And I hope I've inspired you to check out Fit Pro Travel website, FitBodies Inc. social handles, and explore this opportunity for yourself. So yay, thank you so much for listening to me today. And I can't wait to hear back from you. And I want to know if you book a trip, tag me, tag Confessions of a Group X Instructor, tag me. I want to hear about tag FitBodies. We want to know. Warrior Rhythm instructors. Let's do it. We got stuff to give the world. All right, guys. Love you, love you. I'll talk to you again so soon.
Thank you for joining in on the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. If you're interested in becoming a Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat, or Warrior Kids instructor, go to warriorinstructors.com. But if you want more and found this episode amazing, please give us a rating. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. So remember, be brave, be bold, be blessed. And above all, listen, learn, love.